This is hardback from Foundation Publications. Don't really know who that is, but Foundation Publications. It's an NASB hardback. Got it at the probably the Habitat for Humanity store or Goodwill, maybe somewhere. I've already detached the text block from the cover, so I just got finished doing that, and that will be put into our new Bible somewhere. I'm going to try to make it into sort of a nicer, softer, more comfortable version. Don't know what I'll do with that. Might give it away. Done a little prep on the text block. Just trimmed up some of the places where I detached it, and now I have added this, just a strip of paper. It's actually one of the end pages that came out when I detached it from the cover. And so I'm just trying to make sure that I reinforce the backing for the binding here, and also maybe cover it up a little bit just to make it look uniform. If you look down kind of in the channel where it's going to be bound. So I've got some glue on there, just having these rubber bands to hold it in place. So it's going to be the cover. It's kind of a dark red, some sort of genuine leather. Not sure what it was. This tags on the clothes just said genuine leather. I've marked the center point, and then there's my spine. That's where the spine folds should be, hopefully, if I got everything measured out right. I'm going to use a piece of a pocketbook as inner liners, and I'm doing a 2 or maybe 3-piece inner liner. I'll show you how it goes together here in a moment, but it's going to be this silver. This was a pocketbook, so I'm going to use a silver on here, and it's I'm going to fold it over about 3/8 of an inch all around, and so hopefully that's going to end up looking nice. Go with this 3-piece method for the inside liner, just because I didn't have a piece big enough of this pocketbook material to go with, and this I thought the color would look good, so I'm going to go with a 3-piece method. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to piece it together and just show you how it's going to work. I'm going to thin out the edges here in a minute and glue all this together well. But what I'm going to do is my inside liner is going to line up on these lines that you see on the red leather. It's going to line up relatively close. I'm going to use a 3-piece method because, like I said, I didn't have a piece large enough to cover from there to there, so I'm just going to use what I have. So I'm going to do that there, and then this one will be here. Close enough. All that's going to get glued down in place, and then go here, go there. I don't know if you can see that very well from where the camera is. And that's going to be the basics of the finished Bible there. It'll be like that. That's going to feel, it's got a little bit of cushion to it. It's going to feel nice and soft. The leather's good. That's basically how it's going to be. That's why I'm doing it this way, just because I didn't have a big enough piece of material to cover the whole inside there. So I just go on this 3-piece method. Thought I'd show you some of the equipment that I used on this project. You're gonna have to really invest if you're gonna do this, top high quality work here. Obviously a, specialty ruler. It's clear plastic. This is an X-Acto knife. I don't know what they call it. It's probably copyrighted. I probably can't say that. I think both of those came from the Dollar Tree. If you have, one of those nice stores near you. This also Dollar Tree. It's just like got a sharp point on the end of it. And this had one of these, I don't know what it actually is designed for, but it's got a ball. You can just pull that off. I just used a pair of pliers and just pulled it right off. Got a pretty sharp point. Use this for doing corners, doing those pleats, holding the pleats down and press them in the spot. Also, you kind of use it a little bit to press around the raised ribs on the spine. Scissors, you probably could find those like in several places in your house. This is the pen I use to mark my measurements. Yeah, this is how nice it is. A folding tool called a bone folder. Maybe this one isn't actually bone, but it's some sort of synthetic plastic stuff. But as long as it keeps it smooth so it doesn't rip or tear, it works well. That, I don't know, ordered it from Amazon, I'm sure. You can probably get it for less than $5. This is a paring knife. It's a paring knife. So you can see there, it's a paring knife. I really don't know what I'm doing with the paring stuff, but this one, I don't know if it came on eBay or Amazon, but it was less than 20 bucks. It's really sharp. I can tell you from experience. Here's what I use to mark my corners with, inside of a piece of Scotch tape roll. I mark the outer corners with that and use something else to mark the inner corners. But that's, you want the outer corners to be marked a little bit wider, and then the inner corners something a little bit smaller, so it folds over nice and neat. Yeah. This is obviously a paintbrush. Use this to spread out the glue and apply the glue into the corners and stuff. This came in a pack of like 12, Dollar Tree. Very exclusive glue. Yeah, you can probably find that. You had it probably in school growing up. Elmer's Glue All for all porous materials. There you go. This is what I used. So there you go. That's the equipment I used. I think that's basically all of it. And I've done 2 of these projects now. I bought the bone folder and the paring knife. The rest of it's just stuff you probably have around the house already. And you can do this without investing much money into it, for sure. And it's fun projects, a good way to, keep yourself busy. Here's the old hardback. That's just a mass-produced Bible there. Text box still in great condition. Doesn't look like it was ever read. Probably like most of them, unfortunately. So here's the cover. I ended up putting a few of these raised whatever ribs, or I don't know what you call those. I don't know what you call any of this stuff because I'm total amateur. Don't really know what I'm doing, but that's what I've done so far. Put those in there. I think they're going to be okay. I wish I could define them a little bit more. I'm still learning a lot. This is just my second go at doing this, so I think they're going to stick out better than my first try did. I just glued the turn down and did the corners. Not really thrilled. I wish I would have made this a little larger, is what it comes down to. Wish I would have done the cover and the liner just a little bit larger, have a bit of a more size on it. Let me show you what these corners, what they look like here. That one looks probably the best one on them. They look okay. Not great, but they look okay. Good enough for some guy doing this stuff with free materials he got out of a trash bag somewhere. Three-piece inner liner is going okay so far. Really is going to feel really cool, really soft. It's got a little bit of a real soft feel to it. You can't tell that through the screen, but it feels good. And some cover for the spine, just try to keep it uniform. But I think it's going to look okay. I know it's going to feel good. Hopefully it'll hold up well to, the use that it gets. update on how the cover went on here. So cover's on. It's pretty good. I did make a couple mistakes that I wish I would have done better prep, better planning for. I wish my cover had been a little larger. I think I even mentioned that maybe earlier. I didn't allow for as much room here across the spine as I wish I would have. Should have used another 1/8 of an inch, maybe. As you can see there, maybe it's not enough room. It won't get it, and so that turns into my cover not being quite as wide as I would like. I didn't want like a big yap around but would have liked this to sit just inside of the fold down there. I already mentioned some of the things I did with the corners, but you see how that hangs over the corner there, and it's also going to cause, every now and then it's going to catch, the pages will catch on the fold down on the cover, just because it's not quite long enough really to give full coverage of the text block. So I should have measured just a bit more. I had planned for 3/8 of an inch border outside of the actual pages, but I should have done a 1/2 inch probably. That would have got me good, maybe even a little bit more than a 1/2 inch, maybe more like 9/16. Would have been just right. But the way it is now, you can kind of see it right there. The corners just hang a little bit too far from what I would really want it to be. Not enough that it's going to ruin anything. Certainly not going to redo it. But I've attached my text block to the cover here. It's in there pretty straight and pretty good. I mean, it's you don't feel the glue. You don't see any sort of ridges or anything from the glue. Similar there on the front. Lines up pretty well top to bottom. It's about what I would like. Just a little bit smaller on the cover. I wish I would have done just a little bit more, allowed for a little bit more room here on the spine, so you didn't have, so it would have sat further deep into the actual cover. But that's where we're at now. It looks okay. Looks pretty good, really. Feels great. Feels great. It's really comfortable to hold. Really soft. Got that cushion from that inner liner material, that old pocketbook. What else? I'm going to add some end pages here in just a minute. They want to use this. Tried to find something that's brighter, at least as bright white as the pages. I had a cream paper, but it's really going to stick out. So hopefully this bright white will work. Add an end page to cover up this little, whatever you call this, cover that up so that it looks nice, crisp. And I'll show you that in a minute, and that'll be the final part of the project for me, this thing, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with it. Here's the final update. It's going to have to break in a little bit to get the laying flat, but it does pretty well. Right here, just finished here. So that's what it looks like. Oh, it's going to be very fun to read out of. It's going to be, you know, it's got kind of that shine to it, but yeah, it's muted red, so it's not that bright that it's going to be distracting. Here's the end pages. The end pages that we just did, just finished these. Cover up that tab that holds the inner cover and everything to the actual text block. So there's the end page that I added. Was able to match, worked out well. I had some cardstock, that's what that is basically, or some just thick paper, and the white was really close to what the white was here. So it's basically basically a match. Just pasted it down. It covers up that tab and also reinforces it just a little bit. Keeps the tab in place, attached to the text block in the right spot. But you can see that one. See the other one on the other side. The front end page here. It's got bent a little bit. This text block had just straight edges. It didn't have the rounded that the more nicer Bibles would have, the rounded edges. But this one just had the straight edges, so I just used the straight edges from the factory on one edge on all these. Made that easier. I got that pretty well lined up where I wanted it. Could have maybe come over just a little bit. There's another little maybe obvious thing that I'm not a professional, and I'm just a hobbyist. Good, covers the tab well. Opens up nice, and you can still need to spread it out just a little bit. Like I said, get broke in just a little bit to be able to read all the way down there. I think you call that the gutter, but all the way down there to the inside of the columns. Overall, I am pretty pleased. Trying to get you a good view here. You can see how it turned out from the top. There's the bottom. Another, just to show you my mistakes, so maybe you can learn from what I did. Got just a little touch of glue, just kind of squeezed out here when I was putting that end page on, and ended up having to. See, that's what you're seeing there. Just a little bit of glue, making that kind of discoloration where a little bit of stuff's been stuck there. So here it is, finished product. Genuine leather. Still don't know what sort it is really, but it feels real nice, real smooth, real soft. It's got that cushiony material from a pocketbook for the inner liner. This was some piece of leather clothing that was donated, discarded. I think I got the Bible for free from a Habitat for Humanity store. I got the pocketbook from an old donation get rid of pile. Same way for the leather. So what I got in here basically that I had to provide is the end page, really just one piece of regular cardstock, and then whatever glue it has in it. And that's all the materials that I've put into it. So fun project. Got this done. Looks great. Have no idea what I'm going to do with it. But I'm pretty proud of it. It still looks better than my first one. Even with the mistakes I made, still looks okay. Still pretty happy with it. And hope you enjoyed watching how I do this.